So just really quick. So some of the tools that I use for making ferrules, and you don't need anything fancy. If you have a metal lathe, things are much simpler, frankly much easier, but frankly I've never seen the need for a metal lathe for most of this, and I've been able to do it freehand without any real problems or stress or damage to myself, my tools, or my lathe for that matter. So I'm just working on an old 1642 EVS variable speed jet lathe. So nothing particularly fancy, and it does the job, so I'm happy. So I first started making the ferrules. I mean, you can use something as simple as a parting tool like this, or a beading tool. It's not anything fancy, and it's this. What you're concerned about is that angle and that little point right there, and this really should be a little bit sharper, but it will do the trick. It's not, frankly, the best choice. You can get by with just using a parting tool, but it's really hard on the parting tool. It gets beat up pretty quickly. So from there I moved to using, this one is a very fine one. This one's actually been reshaped into another tool, but using a very small bit from a machine shop for a metal lathe for doing that. And same thing goes here. They're just tools for a metal lathe. I believe these are carbide, so they're nice and hard. And so here's the bits down here. They're not expensive. They don't cost a small fortune. The only trouble with this tool, especially if you're freehanding it, is you're going to have to find a way of creating a handle for it, which I solved by over-engineering something dumb. So just little hand tools, really all I've ever needed, like that. And it just has a so as I screw the top down, it tightens down and holds the bit in place. And frankly, the brass will not bother this bit in the least, the carbide. Nickel silver can be a little bit tougher on it. Stainless steel will chew these things up. My biggest problem in going through these is by the fact that I will drop it. And of course it'll always, inerrantly, land on its tip. So, and this is my relatively new version of the same thing. Also kind of over-engineered, but I think a tool should be attractive. So again, and this one actually has a flat tip right now because I've been using it for doing other things in brass cutting metal.